There's Hernandez with the ball, just about to kick off for Stade Français. I think Perpignan, well, they probably got a little bit of the advantage with the wind, but it's swirling. We don't really know, if what's happening inside the Stade de France because of that sort of open area that they've actually got. Makes life a little bit tricky for the kickers. But it's Hernandez, El Mago, the Argentine fly half, to open the proceedings for the home side here in the top 14. So, well, Chris White just getting things in position. Hernandez with the kick. His initial knock on just outside the 22. Scrum with a put in for Stade Français. First error of the game, of the second half. It's not really that good, is it? You'd want a clean take, just to kick off the second half, but it wasn't the case.
Restart so important, we're talking about it often enough. You've got to take the ball, you've got to be able to hold on to your ball, and here they are under pressure again. Once again, sloppy scrum though from Stade Français.
Now this is Stade Français. It's coming out into open side. Alboy gets driven off. This is good play from Perpignan. Well, there's the Tinku with the pass to Perez. Well, they're just running out of their own 22. What can they do with this? This is great play. And, well, there's a good tackle there initially from Gasnier.
Yeah, went through about 3 pairs of hands there where I think the whole stadium was expecting Perpignan to kick it down the end, and I don't think any of the 3 felt confident enough to do so, unfortunately.
No, it looked that way, didn't it? When it goes so well, we go back to another dust-up back in back play, and referee White's going over to have a chat there. He spent most of his day talking with the touch judges today, hasn't he? It's been niggly. There's been little bits of we saw early on the game, first 20 minutes, little bits of niggle, and we started the second half the same way.
It's a stop-starting game, and it's a bit of a shame because obviously we love to see free-flowing rugby, and Chris White's the right man to allow that sort of game here today, rather than Christophe Verdus. But Christophe Verdus, in fact, Andrew, he's actually refereeing the match between your former club, Harlequins, and Northampton today. So there's been a fair switch, but Chris White here just talking.
13 blue and 6.
It's a tough area too, the breakdown. I mean, there are inevitably going to be clashes there because, as we saw there, Perpignan counter-ruck very well. The ruck these days is almost like a tackle without the ball. You get guys flying in and crashing into one another. You've obviously got to be aggressive to do it well, and flare-ups are going to happen, but they seem to have happened fairly regularly today.
Well, here's Tonito who's having a
try. Ballon, players debut, pas de problème, de jouer. 1 punch, 2 knee. Both players.
It's like a song.
Yeah, for children though.
1 punch, 2 knee. Yellow card. 2 players.
Oh, and there's Bastereau. He's been given the yellow card. 10 minutes in the sin bin, and of course it's Tonita as well.
Well, Tonita's claiming it's a. He's got the wrong man there. Maybe it's headgear. He's pointing at Alvarez Carilas about that one because he thinks he's got the wrong man. Yeah.
Perpignan get the chance to get out of their half, and I'm starting to question my French. I heard pas de problème there from Chris White, and it seems like there's a fairly big problem because 2 of them have gone sideline.
His French isn't too bad, but yeah, that was quite a comical moment, wasn't it? Quite a strange, surreal moment there. But so down to 14 men, one player from each team gone off, and Perpignan been given the penalty. It's kicked just inside the 10-metre line. So Perpignan will want to try and do something with this. It's really important for Perpignan to hit hard in the start of the second half after fumbling that from the kickoff. Now, what can they do? Duran, it's a good clean take from the line-out, and they've got numbers. Good hands so far. What can they do? It's David Marty, the strong centre, just getting thrown off the ball. So it's Farid Sid, in fact.
Great turnover.
And it's Stade Français. And there's the kick now. Boxes. It's a bit of a late challenge by Nicolas Mas on Boxes there, but he's back up on his feet. There's no harm done. Need to be a little bit careful. Berger's attempt to just flick the ball back basketball style to his players, but not working on this occasion. Boxes with the big kick deep into the 22. And there's Berger with the, so it's going to be a dropout 22. It's still at 6s and 7s. There's no real flow of the game so far, even with just a couple of minutes into the match. Andrew, it's still a stop-starting sort of, confrontation.
There's a wee bit. That was a very interesting passage of play that. Perpignan have lost a forward to the yellow card. Stade Français are back. So Stade Français promptly sent a forward in the form of Leguizamon out to defend on the back line. Perpignan promptly attacked, tried to attack outside, and Leguizamon made the tackle that forced the turnover. So did pretty well defending out at centre.
Oh no, Stade Français who are in possession. Alboy with the... and there's a little kick from Boxes. It's a very good kick indeed, and just inside the 22, just on the just before the line, and well, that was accurate kicking there.
Well-weighted kick from Boxes. He saw the space in behind them. It's looking a little bit difficult here, these opening minutes, these opening exchanges here. Stade Français, they can get the early score here quickly. They'll really put an element of doubt into the Perpignan minds. We see here Ramadan going up for the ball. Ramadan going back there, does well. Good solid footballer, real hard worker Ramadan. He's captain of Stade Français, been there for many years, and a good hard working honest footballer.
So Olibo taking the line out there. Durant just kicking over the scrum. That was well taken by the Stade Français. Now El Mago. Gaznier, this is a great run. This is a fantastic run from the Australian. What can he do? Oh, he's got past 2, 3, 4 players. Just getting caught up just before the line. Maybe being a little bit too greedy there. He had a couple of players just off his left shoulder. But good run for Stade Français. What can they do here? Here's Boxes. Just getting caught up. Some good defensive there, good tackle. But very dangerous moments for Perpignan. There's Roncero just off the back of that ruck. Forming the bridge, the fans are starting to make some noise. They realise that it's back -20 here. And there's numbers. What's Chris White saying?
That's going to be a yellow card for Tinku, going way back to the original breakdown here after Gaznier's great break by Gaznier. Did them on the outside. Unfortunately, you'll see here, he left his support behind because he was too quick. Then it was your man Berger. Thanks for coming. He's not even in the picture, is he? He's gone. He's looking for support. He does tremendously well here. 3 players in here. And, well, we won't see as it runs through. We won't see Tinku, but he came round offside. Just fair penalty. Down to 13. You'd think they've got to take the line out here.
That was very blatant.
Take the line out and really try and drive the nail home. And, well, captain's decided he wants to kick the goal. Mertz, I don't know what you think on the field, but you feel you want to keep the momentum going, as we'll just see the incident here as Tinku comes flying in.
Yeah, Perpignan's now 2 forwards down, so they put Stade Français puts Leguizamon back in the line out. They've got 8 against 6 potentially. You might throw a couple of backs in there, but it doesn't make a huge lot of difference, does it, in my experience? Certainly not if I've ever been unfortunate enough to be in there, but which I haven't. But they're taking the 3 points. It's an important period. You always, as a team with players off on the sideline with a yellow card, you always try and just hold out the 10 minutes and not concede too many points. By contrast, Stade Français will obviously be trying to maximise the opportunities, but 3 points or possible pushover.
But talking about Tinku, he plays rugby on the fringe, doesn't he?
Well,
he's sometimes capable of making mistakes, and it's just the way he is. He's a high-risk player. I like him. I take my hat off to him. I think he's very strong, but sometimes he goes a little bit too far. That was a blatant error and something that he'll probably regret, because Hernandez is going to add 3 more points onto the 7 that they've got so far. With a very well-weighted, very comfortable kick from the Argentine fly half. 10-0 for Stade Français. The pink flags are flying here at the Stade de France as Stade Français playing 14 against Perpignan, who have 13 players now. So they've made the break, and I think that's a very important moment for this Ewan Mackenzie's team here as we enter the last 30-odd minutes of this top 14 clash here in the French capital. Dan Carter with a kick out. They've got an uphill task now on their hands, the Catalan side. They really do. Hernandez.
Lovely kick.
Fine kick.
Very well worked there. Interesting to notice that there was actually Hernandez who kicked the goal. That one, I think Boxes was maybe a little bit of a knockback and back player, and maybe that was why he didn't take the kick. There was a beautifully struck penalty by Hernandez.
It was by no means a gimme, was it? It was
No, certainly not.
wide enough, and with a swirling wind, they're often the tough ones there from what looked like simple positions.
Now this is Nicolas Durand playing the hooker, taking the role of Tinku, of course. Basically means that he can just get on just behind the line. It's a logical move for the line-outs, of course. But Dan Carter, it's an up and under. It hasn't really gone that far, has it? But the swirling wind, you can just see that swirling wind. I think it was well taken. Was that Paris who...
There's Gasnier back there.
Gasnier, who's collecting. Ball being brought out, and they're trying to take advantage of... Well, he was lucky to manage to pick that one up. Adrien Plante. Oof. And he was nailed by Rabadan. El Mago just changing direction now.
Well played.
David Marty now.
Sid.
Sorry, Sid, I get it all wrong. I can't see, my eyes are frozen. And here's Perpignan on the attack. With that bursting run from Farid Sid. What can they do with this? Oh, look at that tackle. Great defence. Oh, no spear tackle there. He brought him down to a certain extent. He was horizontal. Oh, there's another fumble just on the other side of the pitch.
Good encouraging play from Perpignan, though. Good encouraging play, although it's been knocked on. Stade Français recovered. They'll go to the boot straight away, as their want.
And Chris White says play on. It's just...
That's direct into touch.
Oof.
Oh, no, it's not. Wow. My goodness.
Luck is on their side as they're 13 down. Sometimes it happens, you know, when you're under the cosh and you've got a player down, you're a player less. Sometimes, you know, a little bit of luck comes your way. It happened there.
This is the big hit we saw earlier here coming in there. Is that Simon Taylor in on the tackle?
It was, yeah.
Good technique.
Tough 10 minutes coming up for Perpignan. While they want to slow the game down, hold on to the ball as long as possible and soak up the time while they're a man down. At the same time, they're 10 points down and they want to really get their game going. They haven't as yet had a shot at goal either, but at least they're down the right end at the moment.
Exactly.
Mathieu Blin with the line-outs. Stade Français in possession. Deep inside their own territory. Boxis. A big kick. You can see that it doesn't really go that far. We've got is that Roncero who's injured? The other, oh, he's all right. He's back up. He's looking fine. This is good play from Perpignan. What can they do? There's no support, and still manages to stay on his feet, which was quite important at that point. Waiting for numbers. Of course, there aren't many players left in the Perpignan side because they've got two players who've been simbined, and. Doing very well, Perpignan. With the ball in hand, can't make any mistakes here.
Oh,
that's lovely. It's Berger. Just on the outside. What can they do? Marty to Berger, who's been tackled before he even got hold of the ball. Now, this is going to prove to be quite decisive.
Chris White didn't see it, but I'm sure the touch change did.
Yeah, he's right in there, Mertz.
Beautiful piece of play from Carter. Good attack, and Berger this time drawing the man, sent his man free down the outside.
Are we going to have a yellow card here? This really could go close to penalty try here, couldn't it?
It's a penalty for an early tackle from Ballon.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think Berger would have got there on the inside, but they certainly had plenty of support coming up to make it from the next phase.
That pass from Carter was sublime. He'd been tackled, he just threaded the ball through, and that was a high tackle as well. It was quite dangerous, in fact. But and there's Marty, and there's the late. Well, I mean, it was an early tackle, wasn't it?
In fact, he tripped, didn't he? In fact, he stumbled as well, and he got the. Well worked though. Well worked. And,
okay, number 2.
It's just going to be a kick at goal.
And number 1.
Right, we've got a change in the front row for Stade Français. There's Swaziewski who's coming on, of course, to replace Mathieu Blin. And there's Roncero who's coming off as well. So I think it's Montanella, isn't it, who's coming in to. So there's big changes in the front row for Stade Français. And they're going to go for 3 points. They want to get some points up on the scoreboard. That's a fair call. Dan Carter with his first attempt. Can you imagine? We played 50 minutes and he hasn't even had a kicking opportunity. Andrew, that's it's not really that normal, is it?
Fairly unusual. He won't be used to that, but it won't affect it. But it won't affect him. He's got a great composure. He's a fantastic kicker. It is a difficult kick. It's by no means an easy one to start with, but
you'd nail it, Mertz.
From here, it doesn't look too tough, does it?
Those magic boots of yours, eh?
I lost them somewhere. I think they got lost by the airline in transit coming over.
Carter for three.
Beautiful.
There it is, right straight between the posts. First points for Perpignan. It's a good sign. They're two players, well, they're playing at 13 compared to 14 for Stade Français. And that must be, very, very morale boosting for the Catalan side at this stage of the game. Of course, they'll be just hungry to get their players back onto the pitch and start a 15-15 match again. But it's very good offensive play from Perpignan, I must admit. And, they'll be trying to exploit that. There's the ball just came out like a bar of soap there.
Yeah, it didn't go 10 initially, and Mermos took it on very well. He's played well, the centre, and it came out the sole well.
It's worked well because it's a brave decision to take a kick-off that's not 10 metres. Of course, if you leave it, you go back for the scrum. Soaks up a little bit more time for Perpignan. I suppose, on the other hand, if you let it bounce, it could always bounce through to 10 metres. But as soon as Memo's played it, then it's play on, and they've profited well from it.
Well, evidence of the breeze that we spoke about earlier, that Dan Carter's lining one up from 54 out, and we saw Boxy's had the legs easier. Dan Carter, you wouldn't really describe him as in the same class in terms of a power kicker as Boxy's, would you? But length, I don't think should be a problem for him here.
Not normally. I think he hits most of his kicks at about sort of 85-90% strength. I think he's got a wee bit more in the tank because he's got a strong kick on him. When he kicks it, it stays hit.
Oh, that's sure.
But he certainly struck that first kick very nicely.
Well, it's quite straight as well. He's not close to the line, is he? To the touch line, which makes life a little bit more easier for him. Let's see what Carter can do. Reduce the deficit to just 4 points.
No, he's forced it. Short left.
Yeah. No good this time round for Dan Carter. A little bit disappointed, you can see on his face, but of course, there's Roncero with the ice on the knee.
Well, as we talked about managing the clock, and I think, that kick at goal takes another minute off the clock. I can understand they haven't got their hooker on the field. They haven't got someone to throw it in. Sensible option. Even if it maybe was at the limit of his range, I can understand why. Beautiful restart from Hernandez.
Stade Francais picking up possession there. Just outside of the 10-metre line. Oh boy. There's a little chip over the top. Well, he gets caught up there. Mild obstruction, but the referee, Chris White, says carry on. Now it's Perpignan on the attack. What can they do here? Well, there were numbers outside.
Here we go, numbers here. Great pass, Carter.
What can they do? Here's Perez. Just getting caught up, and he's got caught up with Bastero, of course, Adrian Plante. Can they keep possession, Perpignan? There it is. Durand to Dan Carter. So Marty getting caught up.
Good ball.
Once again, they've got numbers. What can they do? This is a fantastic bit of play for Perpignan. But Berger getting caught up there. That was a fantastic tackle from Stade Français there that just enabled them to lose the ball. Well, there's no one back in defence. They need to take advantage. This is good play. Oh, El Mago, the magician, trying to just kick the ball through into space. But this time again against is Perpignan who tidied it up. It's going from one end to the other at the moment. As the temperature continues to drop here in Paris, it is quite cold now, I must admit. And there's Carter with the kick.
Very good kick.
And there's the fumble. What can they do? This is surely a good try-scoring opportunity, but I wasn't able to offload at the key moment. And that is Durand. Well, they're up against a very strong wall here. Is Perez with just getting caught. Perpignan looking very feisty indeed, just outside of the 22. Remember, they're a player down and they're 7 points down, but they're still giving Stade Français as much as they possibly can. Well, they need to be careful. This is there's no one back. Burgers needs to recover. What can he do here? It's well taken by the South African fullback. He pumps the ball upfield, but only just into the hands of Alwi. Oh, that was quite nasty. There was a bit of a shoulder barge, and what's I
think it was a fair call. It looked a little bit late and a little bit deliberate, but I don't know if the rule was to bring it in 15 metres. I thought it was where it landed, but
yeah, no, it's to bring it in 15 if it's not not close to the touchline. There we see it there. Well, have a look here from the kick. Just watching this on slow motion there. Yeah, well, yes, he's turned his body and he's checked him there, and well, as is the French want, he'll stay on the ground for 3 or 4 minutes before he gets back up. But great passage of play both ways, wasn't it?
Yeah. The thing, I mean, with Berger, I think is at the moment when he actually turns away, and he's not doing anything on purpose. He's trying to get out of the way. I think that's. It's touch and go, I suppose, isn't it?
I think the thing they look at is Berger moved off his line, and Stade Français were affected by it. So I think no further action needed, was there? Obviously, but I guess Berger can just thank his lucky stars it wasn't Bastereau that chipped ahead and ran into him again.
Once is enough of that for an afternoon, I think.
We've seen what he's capable of doing. Here's Hernandez to add 3 points to Stade Francais' tally of 10, and it's straight between the posts. 3 more points, Stade Francais 13-3 up. They've got back to the break once again, and well, that's every point is important in a match like this at this stage of the game. And well, Perpignan, they've been very courageous over the last 10 minutes. They've been throwing everything at Stade Français, but well, one accident or mistake, if you like, and well, 3 points. Hernandez is going to say gracias, amigo.
I'm just going to have to excuse Albuib because he's actually got off the field after that late hit here. I was saying he was milking it for 3 or 4 minutes. He's been escorted off the field. He's looking in bad shape, actually. So it'll be Olszeg who comes on and takes his position at the base of the scrum.
The South African, yeah.
Philip Berger has also just come off for Perpignan. However, the blood and gold's back to 15 men.
That basically means that Stade Français are back to 15 as well. Right, we can expect a proper game of rugby now.
Well, at least the intensity's picked up in this half, hasn't it? There's a bit more want about it from both teams.
That's keeping us warm a little bit more as well, Simon. Not that it's about us. There's the chip over the top. That wasn't bad at all. And this is Parisset picks up the pieces. What can they do with this? Deciding to go the blind side. A little chip over the top. There's Porrical who's come on to replace Berger. Of course, he's a great kicker as well. So
it's a good kick too, because he wasn't sure if he was in the 22 or not when he took the ball. Of course, you can't take it back in and kick it out on the full, so he's just pumped it as long as he could.
Oh, Gasnier, good hand, good little pass there. What can they do? Stade Français just gone into the past the 10-metre line.
That's the difference between English and French refereeing there. I think it was very well refereed. The ball was out. He allowed the player to come in and get that. French referee would have pinged him for going off his feet here. So it's a beautiful box
Fantastic kick. Vision from Dan Carter, and it's just gone out. Oh, that's a wonderful kick. That really was. He just spotted that there was no one back there, kicked it over behind the winger, and well, it just trotted on until it actually went out. Line out, just 5 metres close to the try line, and it's a put in for a throw in for line out for Stade Français, of course. But good territorial kick in there from Mr. Carter.
He just shows his value, doesn't he? I don't think he's quite at 100%, and after an Achilles injury, I don't think you'd expect him to be after missing, a few games and a few weeks of training. But shows his value, just the little things he does like that. Saw the space, put in a great kick that kept rolling. Even if it hadn't gone out, he was putting pressure on to make Stade Français kick it out.
And is Stade getting rid of the danger, but it hasn't gone too far, has it? Well, Perpignan, they need to all be careful here. They got Bastereau coming up, and there was a big hit there. There was just he's flat-footed, and Dinku. Well, he'll add some extra punch to this to the forwards, of course, for Perpignan.
The backs from Perpignan starting to run some great lines off Carter at the moment. There's the Carter again with the offload.
Yeah, fantastic offload there.
This is good play. They're all offside here in the middle of the field. The referee hasn't called it though.
Yeah, just
oh, he's isolated. He's isolated. They've got to get in here. Tinku, he's got to do his job.
Yeah, get
does
the bridge. That's Perpignan's just driving through once again. There's another good offload. There's a Marty. Look at Marty go. He's like a French TGV, small size, but doing extremely well. Perpignan pushing through into the 22. They've got support here. They need to get the ball out and try and pierce that defence. Well, route one,
good play.
Sometimes it works. Keep the ball in hand, protect the ball. Oh, there's the ball's been knocked on, and Mr. White giving the scrub. But a couple of phases from Perpignan. Do you just feel that the momentum's intensified for Perpignan now that they've got a full squad back on the pitch, Simon?
Well, it's gone for both teams. Have a look here just at Carter. Have a look here. Gets the arms. That's the strength, the offload. Great play. You know, okay, he might not be at 100%, as we said, coming back from that Achilles injury, but geez, having a good game today here. He's really responded to the challenge, hasn't he? Everything that's good is coming through his hands today with Perpignan.
He said he was looking forward to this, to this match, playing at the Stade de France, and of course making a big impact today, as you said, Simon. Right, Jerry Britz, I think, it was going on, but he's coming back off. South African.
We'll have Bergamasco coming on as well for Stade Français, who, if the press reports to believe coming out of Italy, he's been lined up as the next number 9.
That's right.
And you know, as I guess something on the Italians here, an Italian for an Italian.
But there's it's Tonita who's going off, so Jerry Britz coming on as the flanker there, and Parise, he's the man coming off for Bergamasco. So. More changes for both teams, fresh legs. Oh, there was a little fumble from Bastora. It goes backwards though. Noel Ulshik, the scrum half, who's come on to replace Abui. And that was there's a decent enough kick to give them plenty of space to breathe and well, to start from scratch.
We talk about the strength of the Stade Français team and the Stade Français bench, and it's true, it is strong, but Britz coming off the bench is a good one for Perpignan. Hell of a player. He's a big man, and you know, towards the end of the game, when the guys start getting tired, he could be one of the guys that will take Perpignan forward and create some opportunities.
It's a line out for Tinku. The battering ram from Romania.
Well, they're enjoying a period down in the Stade Français half at the moment, but they want to get points as well. It's Carter going to the line again.
A little bit of a trip tackle there, but it worked enough and got him down on the ground. So, but they still have possession here, Perpignan, just at the 10-metre line. Well, a little bit of pick and go going on, just trying to push forward, get closer to that. To the try line.
They're doing it well at the moment. They're making the small yards, but those are the ones that count. They've got the momentum going forward.
They've got the quality in their forwards as well. Very strong boys there in that big bunch of babies there. And there's Perez, and there's trying to break the chain. And it's a fumble again.
It's the same thing, isn't it? That they do well, they get the momentum going forward. You think they're getting back, they're there, and they're killing themselves. They really are. He sees the hole through the middle, no defender there. Goes through Montella, does well, protect the ball. No, just a little knock on there.
That's all it takes.
Probably has been the difference today between the two teams as well. Perpignan have shown a lot of enterprise, but just some of those errors that you would call unnecessary. You know, they've tried to offload the ball in the tackle maybe once too often or in the wrong situation, and that hasn't helped them.
Attention, s'il vous plaît, attention.
All right, here we go. Chris White with his French.
Okay, le terrain. Pardon, le terrain.
He wants cohesion here. Get back to the marker.
Perpignan want to be careful here. The back line is up within the 5 metres. He's being pulled back now by his mates.
It's Leguizamo. Good hands from Leguizamo, as we expect. And there's the El Mago with the kick. Straight into the hands of Jérôme Porical. There's the kick. Swirling wind doesn't allow it to get much distance. It's just gone very high, and that was well taken by Leguizamo again. Always still very much part of this Stade Francais team. El Mago with the dummy. That was quite intelligent, but he gets caught up just in midfield. There was no gaps there. He didn't have much support either. Olshig with the kick. Just it's a very good kick indeed. Very good kick. He's just not that certain, was he, Plante? They're really tricky, aren't they, Andrew? When you're in that situation, you're thinking, do I take? Do I sort of, do I let it run? You've got many different thoughts going through your head. When you've got
it's a tough one there, because the chasing line from Stade Francais down that blind side was good as well, and you're only likely to get into trouble. So fortunately for Plante and for Perpignan, the ball rolled out and gave them a chance to reset and they're thrown into the line out. But very dodgy. Good wee kick that. Puts a lot of doubt in the line.
And Perpignan is a good take for Perpignan. They just need to hold the fort. Duran with the kick. It's very high indeed. And there's chasing. And there's another collision. And this is unbelievable. This time it's Plante. And
in the air.
That's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as we saw earlier. Same taking down there, but he was watching the ball. It's just poor technique, isn't it? It's just really poor technique. He's watching the ball. There's no presence and no spatial awareness as where the players are.
If you see the reaction, who was it under the ball from Stade Francais? I noticed that the ball did swerve back at the last minute there from the kick, and I think both of them were taken by surprise, and obviously it didn't work in Plante's favour. He kept running through to where he thought the ball was coming down, and the Stade boys backtrack as well suddenly when it swerved. So maybe a wee bit of bad luck there, but certainly one of those things that can be avoidable if you take care not to be taking a guy out.
Well, that's for me, it's exactly that, Mertz. It's taking care, and I just see the guys who've made these mistakes today are the guys who I'd say aren't very experienced. Haven't played a lot of high-level rugby. We've had Bastereau with it. We had him try to clean up Berger earlier on, and in that situation there.
There's just a little substitution in. Sebastian Borzi was coming on as the prop, of course, to replace the youngster, Jerome Schuster. There's the kick, and it's a good one. It just shaves the upright. My word. And I'm just going to touch that down and take the dropout 22. Thank you very much. Well, let off the hook there. I thought it was going. I think the wind's having an effect now, because it really is swirling, and it's quite a strange. There we can. Oh my word!
It just died away, didn't it?
There's Dan Carter with the dropout. Very well taken there, I think, by Simon Taylor.
He's adapted very well for Stade Francais, hasn't he, to this, been asked to sodden at second row with the injuries to Pascal Papé. Oredu hasn't been, he's been out pretty much all season. Taylor sodded in really well there for Stade Francais, essentially a back row player, but doing a good job for them this season.
No, he's a very, very sturdy player. He's very strong. He's a good ball carrier, and just slipped in, fits very well into the team, and having a good season as well. Just another key element to this strong pack that they've got. Chris White wants the scrum to be taken again. Still a little bit disappointed. I think the Bonning's not.
Tinku's injured, and his lookalike with him on the tight head who's come on.
Botsi.
It's a long lost twin.
And I think Julien Arias coming off then. And it's Bousses who's coming on, Guillaume Bousses.
Be relaxed.
13-3 for Stade Français here live on Eurosport Asia Pacific. 13 minutes left. Plenty of time to score. A try or two for either side. El Mago. It's just, I think it's too...
Jean got hammered there, and
And there's the drop goal attempt. It's not bad at all, but I don't think it's long enough. No.
It's not good at all either. But
sorry,
I've seen him kick better.
You obviously got better eyesight than me, Mr. Mertens.
He's a great drop kicker of the ball, and that it wasn't his best effort. But it keeps putting the pressure on Perpignan. They've got to go back and restart from their 22 again. And Stade Francais happy to play it down their end with a 10-point lead.
Referee White is just asking if that one went over. Now that missed by a good 5 metres. So Robbie, I think he needs to see the same optometrist as you. Huh?
The same optician, yeah, you're right.
It's tough with these pink posts, obviously. Blending into all the pink in the crowd, I guess.
We'll be having a pink ball soon here.
Well done, Chris. He's not sure. What's happening now, Chris? It didn't go over. I can tell you from here, Chris. Go back. Go back. Back you go, Chris. It's cold. Everyone wants to go home. Oh no, we've got other problems here.
No, he's complaining about me because he apparently he's heard that I actually said that it was a good kick. That's what.
I think not, but
I think they took a quick vote, want to finish the game early and send the dancing girls back on.
I had an inkling you were going to mention that sooner or later. 79,000 supporters here at the Stade de France, so basically packed out, isn't it? But, very courageous and brave to come out on a very cold day like this. That was really close, wasn't it? Okay, let's move on. It's a drop back 22 for Perpignan.
He just had to check all the angles, the television official there.
Okay. They haven't been used today, have they? So it's fair enough. It keeps them on their toes.
Yeah, but they're in the warmth. I mean, you know, they're the lucky ones. Anyway, back to the action. 11 minutes left. Boost says, he's come on, Farias. There's El Mago. Big kick. It's well taken there from Poricol.
It's okay.
Oh.
Well played.
What can they do with this? Good hands now. They need to. This Durand, he's looking for support. There's no support there. He makes the blind pass. Well, he didn't have any options at all. He just got nailed and dragged out into touch. So why not? It worked because they still have possession. And this is Damian Shuli just gaining an extra few meters. Durand's back there. This time it's Botzi. The prop gets caught up. Many lookalikes on the Perpignan side, aren't they? Yeah. Giant-sized mini-me's. There's the good hands, pick and go at the moment for Perpignan, getting themselves closer. Oh, Daniel Carr wasn't even watching that, was he? Sorry.
No, he wasn't. He was. Oh, great play. Great
look at this from Sid. This is Carter. Now, good hands. This is what's needed for Perpignan. This is wonderful play. Tinku.
Oh dear.
The front row determined to get involved, and good on them. Warm the hamstrings up and have a crack.
Get everybody in there.
Oh dear, the turnover. That's the story of the game, isn't
Lack
it?
of discipline.
Promising play. They're in a position to go forward, and then bang. Well, I'm not going to say it's because we had number 2 and 3 in the position of first and second receiver, but at the same time, a little bit more patience with the ball. If they don't try and win that extra metre, maybe they have more chance of holding on to the ball. As we see it here, isolated here, the brother of Tinku, and there we go, diving in there. Bastero strong on his feet, technically very sound. This is earlier on in the action. He does very well here to slip through the tackle. He's had a very good game, hasn't he, Mermoz? He played very well. Carter again, and he got a beautiful offload back to Mermoz again. And you really felt it was on out on this side here, but well, Stade Français relieve the pressure again.
I think those forwards taking a leaf out of Mario Ledesma's handbook of getting involved in every play of the game possible. This is it's a line out now for Stade Français. Swaziski,
it was interesting to see who got back to make the tackle on Carter again with Hernandez. He's shadowing him today, isn't he?
He is indeed, yeah. And we expected a big battle. Well, there's been more kicking rather than hitting each other. That was a good take, and
they've got good numbers here. Carter can sit them away here.
Now what can they do? It's Marcy, there's Poricol, and this is Plante. What can Plante do? Now he's got still got the ball. There's a bit of
great play.
Shenanigans. What can Perpignan do? They got loads. Oh, there's Tinku coming through, I think, who managed.
It's his brother again.
It's his brother, Bodzi. Dan Carter, inside pass this time. Oh, this is fantastic. Come on, Perpignan. What can they do?
They've got numbers stacked up on the right. They've got numbers. It's got to be cleared. Carter, first receiver. Beautiful
There's the check. Oh, that's
Daniel
fantastic
Carter.
play.
Daniel
Wonderful. And
Carter.
doesn't he deserve it as well? Max Mermoz with that try. That was just a touch of genius from the New Zealand fly half.
I think he's bobbled this ball but regained it. My call's a try, just at the first glimpse.
Yeah, I think we can...
I'd already given it, Mertz. There's the bobble, the try.
Oh, yeah,
well
we
done,
can do
Mertz.
that. We can
Like
do
it.
that. Hey.
Like it.
Tough one to call. So I had to take a guess at that. It's 70 metres on the angle from here. There's a bit of mist in the air. I think it's frozen mist, but still tough one, isn't it? But a good try. Well done.
How long is the video ref going to take giving this one?
Oh, God.
After the touchdown, after the drop goal earlier. Great play, Perpignan. And if we get a chance to see that again, Daniel Carter. See the defence came up on the outside to cut out the outside option. Assist it beautifully.
It's a great weighted kick too, especially on the run. Very easy to overcook those and chuck it into the dead ball.
As we see,
but there weren't many options on, and I mean that was literally the right option. That was probably the only option at that point because they had a good defensive line back there, Stade Français.
Well, we almost thought they'd blown it about 3 or 4 phases earlier when one of the big Perpignan forwards went for the pick and slow.
Pick and slow. One of the brothers. There it is, confirmation from Chris White. Well, 72 minutes gone, 8 minutes left, and the Catalans of Perpignan back in. They're back in the match.
Well, they did well here earlier, didn't they? And that was that's Plantier. He's taken it away well as we're going to come back for the kick. But the replacement who's come on at fullback, Porrical, he's played well, hasn't he, since he's come on?
So has is it Marty out in midfield. He's provided a lot of penetration too. And
there it is, there's the conversion, 2 more points. That makes it what now, is it 13-10?
3-point game.
An explosive finish, well, that's what we wanted.
Taking it on, this is, he does very well Porcal does very well to gather in here. Carter used the acceleration of mass here was something, wasn't it?
It was like
really took it to them. Anyway, we're back to it.
13-10 now, all up for grabs now. This changes the whole face of the game.
Rouge.
This is an interesting, but there's an initial mistake from the kick out. We've seen that from the start of the second half. We've seen it once more.
Have been good kicks though. Both kickers have put their kickoffs high and with a lot of time for the guys to get under it, chasing it to get under it, and it's paid dividends.
The fans are here, the Stade Français fans, of course, making a lot of noise. Le Griezmann just peeling off the back of the scrum and driving in the right direction. Oh, this is a cross kick from El Mago, and that was unfortunately not taken by Gasnier, but he claims that there was contact made. Am I right in saying that? Well, yeah.
He'll feel that. He had his eyes on the ball, but I don't think there was anything untoward from
just have a look at the
that side of that. Mate, Sid again, isn't it? He's had a great game too, Sid.
Sid.
Should be in some Clint Eastwood movie, El Cid or something. I think he probably was. But
Lost in La Mancha.
So here we go, 7 minutes to go, 6.5 minutes to go. Perpignan, they got 90 metres to go here, so they got time though, they've got time. They just want to work it, take it down, be patient.
Okay, we've just got to fend off hypothermia for the next 6 minutes, chaps, and we'll be fine. But at the moment, well, we wish we were on the pitch because obviously they're keeping warm. 13-10. This is a
huge
remarkable
They want to shut
game.
them down for the drop goal.
There's an attempt. Oh no, it's very low. That was a poor kick, that was, Mertz.
Again, I'm not one. I shouldn't be one to criticise anyone's drop goals, and I won't criticise Hernandez because he can kick some beautiful ones. But I think he's gone worse than the first one. But, an important kick that too, though. I mean, they're only at 3 points. I'm sure Perpignan, if they were to get down the Stade Français end and kick a goal, a 13-all draw would to them be a victory of sorts, wouldn't it, up here in Paris? So, you know, Hernandez quite rightly looking to keep that buffer.
I think they deserve to come out of this game with something, don't they? Because they've really contributed to it a lot, but played a lot of the rugby here today.
Yeah, but 2 points apiece. I mean, you know, that makes that makes sense. With Toulouse losing, you know, I mean, that just leaves pretty much everything where it is. So yeah, it's that would be a fair scenario for both teams. Porrical, there's Dan Carter, hoofing it.
Well, it's the right option. He wants to play it down that end of the field, try and draw the mistake if he can.
And there's tit for tat once again.
He's in trouble. He's got no one behind him.
Oh, there it is. There's the ball. What does Stade Français? Well, they've just taken advantage, but there was a little bit of illegal play there.
The referee was slow to blow that one up. Actually, I thought he was going to let them go there. Now they need a good clearance kick here from Carter. Good line out. Build the pressure. You've got 5 minutes to play. It's a long time.
Time off.
It's probably going to seem pretty quick for the Perpignan boys, isn't it? It'll be a lot longer for the Stade Français.
Of course it is, but it's about, you know yourself, Mertz, in these situations. It's about keeping a cool head and just working your team into the right position, isn't it?
So they've certainly got to. They don't want to be chasing the game from out of their own, deep in their own half. Perpignan. All it takes is one little slip up from Stade in their own half, and Carter's, as we all know, is well up to the job of equalising for them.
Well, there's Nicolas Durand, who just picked up a little bit of a injury there, but he seems to be fine. They've got Melee on the bench, of course, who could come in to replace him, but he's no change.
Ooh.
There's the kick. He again
flew like a wounded duck as well, didn't it? Really just died away at the end there. But
yep.
Anyway, it's 30 metres out. It's what they wanted.
Now, would it be wise to try and go for a drop goal at this time?
I wouldn't think so. I think
the wind's not good, is it?
No, but it's just a case of holding on to position. And okay, and that's been the one failing of Perpignan today, is they've been guilty of giving it up quickly. As Tinku goes for that short one just on the 5 again, just to, well, they've got the position. That's the first job done.
Well, they just keep the ball in play. That's good. They didn't manage to drag Tinku out for a line out. Lose possession.
He needs support. He's going forward here.
This is good. Need to get in there, just protect the ball.
It worries me when Perez gets near the ball, and just as I say it, it's the knock on. He's made some mistakes today, hasn't he?
Well, it's a bit of a shame, really, because he's just spoiling what could have been, some great series of attacking moves, and just keeping possession and just pushing through. It's happened about 3 or 4 times, hasn't he? His hair's getting in the way.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. You know, if you want to play with long hair, you're going to be seen, aren't you? And all your mistakes get magnified. Anyway, we go big scrum here for Perpignan. They've had the wood on them today, in my opinion, with very limited knowledge of scrum time. But let's see if they can really do a number on them here.
Pause, engage.
Stade Français intelligently closing up the gap.
Messi.
Great kick. Oh no, what's he called here?
They've passed it back into the 22, the new rule.
Ooh.
Still catching. It's
got me there, thank you.
Yeah, got me as well.
How many years have you been playing rugby, boys?
Well, too many. These new rule changes, too much to take.
It's very true, it's very true.
But that's obviously going to catch guys out at times. You just tend to forget it out there, I guess, as a kicker. And obviously Stade Français been called out. Golden opportunity for Perpignan.
Now, 13-10. We've got 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Tinku with the line out. Perpignan on the attack inside the 22. That was a crucial take from the forwards. What can they do here? Oh, he's burst through the back line once again. Mermoz with a great attacking move.
There it is. There's the penalty. Play! Oh dear. They had the advantage. They had to play, didn't they? They had to play.
Beautifully done from Dan Carter. He hasn't chosen too many occasions to run today, which makes him all the more dangerous when he does. We know how good he is. He's got Perpignan right over the advantage line there, and his man Mermoz in support again.
Well,
it's a red card for Basto.
Second yellow.
Because he's had the first yellow, of course, before. That's it. Yeah, and that means suspension, maybe 2 or 3 matches. I mean. And there's the 3 points. It's 13-13. Now that is quite remarkable. Just to tell you guys, we're going to, as soon as the match finishes, we haven't got much time to sort of, just round up. So
I won't be saying anything then.
Well, we haven't finished yet.
No, we haven't finished yet.
If they regather the kickoff, look for the 2 drop kicking options with Boxis and Hernandez. They'll be sure for a snap drop kick straight away. Perpignan been sloppy in this phase of the play today. That's one of his poorest restarts today, just as we tried to build it up.
And there's, I think it's that Jerry Britz who just picks up. Finally, there's been a good take here. There's less than a minute left now. Dan Carter just hoofing the ball upfield, but it hasn't got that far. There's the drop goal attempt, but it's very poor indeed.
Leave it.
Cleared the 22 very easily.
Yeah.
Here's Borical with the white. Well,
That's a beautiful kick. Did he find the touch? Well, he did, but just want to get up there and shut the space down quickly.
Yeah, and there's Boxes who's there, and there's a little chip over the top. And there's Durand who takes it. There's a good take from Durand.
A last chance for Perpignan.
They're in possession now, at the halfway line.
Oh, here it is. Could be a shot at goal here.
My word, how is this? This could end.
Interesting to see, very interesting to see. It was Porrical who came racing up from 15 metres out, saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. He's the long-range kicker in this side. We've seen him hit him from 50 before, and I think we'll see him step up to the mark on this one.
Now, Simon, he doesn't feel the pressure either. He's one of those players who's just, he came in to replace Dan Carter when he missed those 4 kicks against Biarritz, and he kicked perfectly. He is the man for the job. Andrew.
Well, I may be biased because of Carter being in the Perpignan team, but I don't think I'd begrudge Perpignan the win here. I think they've
no, without a doubt.
If they get this, I think they've played the more rugby than Stade Français. Stade Français have looked good. They've looked very organised in defence. They scored a very, very good try early on, but I think if Perpignan get this kick, then I think they've earned it.
It's going to be a hell of a kick to win the game with, though, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
This is the sort of thing you dream of as a 7 or 8 year old, or possibly even a 27 or 28 year old.
51 metres out on the angle, 12 in from 13 in from touch.
The pressure's on. Jérôme Porrical.
I'm not putting my money on him.
Substitute. Swirling wind. It's very cold. He's got a good kick on him. What can he do here?
He's done. No!
Just to the left of the post. And, well, the 80 minutes are up, and surely that's the end of the game. It looks as though, unless something out of this world happens, this match is going to end, 13 points apiece. 2 points each for the draw. Well, that's a fair way to end. Well, Perpignan in possession. There's another...
Carter got absolutely smashed by Hernandez. He stayed down on the ground.
Yeah,
Carter's not well. Carter is not well. Carter got hammered by Hernandez back there, and he's still down. And Hernandez...
Well, there's a bit of shenanigans now going on just right near the touch. The game's over. We don't need this at this time. This is, it's ridiculous. We've already had a red card, 2 yellows from Bastereau. Stade Français have been down. I think Chris White will just want to end the match now. He just said, it's really not. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy.
Well, there hasn't been too much that's been heated today, but a couple of exchanges near the end there, and the game is over.
There it is. Okay, Andrew Mertens, thanks very much for being consultant today. I hope you've enjoyed it in this freezing weather.
Well, the game started and meandered along a little bit, but hell, it's been value for money at the end, I think.
Thanks very much, Andrew. We'll see you again with us here on Eurosport Asia Pacific. Simon Mannix, thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure. 13-13 Perpignan, Stade Français. They share the spoils at the end of the day. Dan Carter is being carried off with an injury there. That's not good news. Thank you very much for watching us. From me, Robbie Knock, here on Eurosport Asia Pacific. Goodbye.